2022. Big movies already came out. Most of these movies exceed my expectations. Let's talk about some of the movies that I'm excited for the rest of 2022. These are my top 10 most anticipated movies for the rest of 2022. Now, this is my biased list. These are the movies that I am most interested in for the rest of the year. If there are some movies that are missing in this list that you want to tell me about, let me know in the comments below and I might respond if I'm interested in those movies or not. So, these are the movies that I'm excited, and hopefully these movies do a great job concluding 2022. Because I'm not gonna lie, this year actually has been a pretty good year so far. There's a lot of great movies that came out this year. That is great for me. So hopefully these movies conclude 2022 very, very well. Now before, of course, getting to my top 10 most anticipated movies for the rest of 2022, of course, I have some other movies that I'm excited for this year, but it doesn't make it on my list. So of course we have some honorable mentions here. Disenchanted. This is the sequel to Enchanted that came out in 2007. I love that film. That film was one of my favorite Disney films. So I'm interested to see the sequel. Babylon. This is Damien Chazelle's new movie, who directed La La Land, Whiplash. Interested to see what he does with this film. Amsterdam. This is David O. Russell's new movie, who directed American Hustle and Silver Linings Playbook. Like, this film has an amazing cast. Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, Zoe Saldana, Robert De Niro. Like, this film has amazing people involved in it. So, let's hope Amsterdam is a really good murder mystery film. Beast. I have a heart spot for creature flicks. I love movies about animals going rampage and people kicking those animals' asses in these types of movies. I love creature flicks. I know this movie's not going to be perfect, and I didn't put it on my list because it's coming out this week. I'm interested to see it. Like, Idris Elba punching a lion, I am so in for that. Blonde. Ana de Armas is playing Marla Moreau. I am interested to see that movie because it's talking about her downfalls in her career, and I think Ana de Armas is going to completely crush it. That trailer really surprised me. Now for my last honorable mention, I'm going to tie in two movies in one. That is two Pinocchio movies. We got a Disney live action remake that's directed by Robert Zemeckis with Tom Hanks. Interested to see Tom Hanks and Zemeckis returning, but also we have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio that's coming out on Netflix, which has some of the best looking so far that I've seen stop motion animation. Like, that stop motion animation looks really freaking interesting. So those two movies, two Pinocchio movies, I'm interested in both. So those were my honorable mentions. Now let's get into the 10. The movies that I'm very interested in for the rest of 2022. So we're going to start off with my number 10 with Don't Worry Darling. This is Olivia Wilde's new movie, who directed Booksmart, which I really enjoyed. Olivia Wilde is starting to become a really good director. Again, Booksmart, I really enjoyed. This movie is definitely different comparing to Booksmart. This movie looks like The Truman Show, mixed with a bit of Shyamalan to it. It looks twisted, it looks messed up, and I like these types of movies, so I'm interested to see what this movie provides, and especially that the cast of the film looks incredible. Like, we got Florence Pugh, we got Gemma Chan, we got Chris Pine, and the most interesting is Harry Styles. I'm interested to see him in this film. Maybe she sees something in him, because I did enjoy him in Dunkirk. I thought he proved to me that he can be a good actor in Dunkirk. Harry Styles can prove me wrong in this film. He could be a great actor because from the trailers, he looks like he's going to kill it. But this movie looks very interesting to me. I like really twisted movies that takes a really good original concept, and that's what this movie looks like it's going to provide me. And I'm hopeful that Olivia Wilde directs this movie very, very well. And hopefully this movie is good in general. Coming into my number 9 goes to Halloween Ends. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Halloween Kills. I thought that movie really disappointed me because I really enjoyed the 2018 Halloween movie. Halloween Kills had some pretty brutal kills, but with the town going up against Michael Myers and making dumb decisions and no Laurie Strode, I was disappointed in that movie. So now, we finally get Laurie Strode facing off against Michael Myers, and that's a movie I wanted to see. And Jamie Lee Curtis, of course, she's going to nail it. And of course, I want to see Michael Myers again, because Michael Myers is one of the best slasher killers put onto screen. So, for this conclusion with the Halloween saga, I would say this seems like it's going to be a conclusion. I'm excited to see how this movie is going to conclude. And of course, Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers, that's all I want to see in this movie, and the trailer definitely provides that for me. Coming into my number 8 goes to The Woman King. Now, this trailer of this movie shows a lot in cinemas, and I'm not gonna lie, the more times the trailer has been showing, I get more interested in this movie. This movie looks like Braveheart with women mixed with African culture, And this movie actually does look pretty badass. And of course, Viola Davis is a fantastic actress. And of course, I reckon she's going to kill in this movie because she's just fantastic as an actress. But this movie absolutely looks powerful. It looks badass. And the filmmaking from the trailers alone looks awesome. And this looks like it's going to be a really good, fun, biographical action film because this movie is based on true events. So I'm interested to see how this movie provides. It looks like it's going to be a very big, powerful action film. And I honestly am excited to see how this movie provides us. Coming into my number 7 goes to Glass Onion, a Knives Out story. Now, I really enjoyed the first Knives Out. That movie really surprised me. Rian Johnson directed that movie very well, and of course the cast in that movie is incredible in that film, and I love that it's a twisted version of Clue. Now we get to see that again in the sequel that I'm honestly very interested in. Of course, Daniel Craig is coming back from the first movie, but we also get Ethan Hawke and Edward Norton. There's a lot of people involved in this movie, and of course Rian Johnson returning. The reason why it's a bit on the bottom of my list is this movie is coming out on Netflix, which I'm very skeptical about that, but of course, Rian Johnson is coming back. The people that are from the first movie involved with the crew is coming back to this movie, so let's hope that this sequel is worth the wait, because of course the first Knives Out is fantastic. Coming into my number 6 goes to Shazam! Fury of Gods. I really enjoyed the first Shazam. I thought that movie was a lot of fun. Zachary Levi absolutely crushes it. It's definitely a DC film that follows a lighthearted tone that I wanted to see. So hopefully this sequel is better than the first one, because I really enjoyed the first one, but this movie looks like more fun. We get to see the Shazam family once again, and hopefully explores that a lot in the film, and Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu playing the villains. I am so on board. Those two are really great actresses. But the movie just looks like a very fun comic book film that knows exactly what it is. I can't wait to see Billy Batson's more characterization. And of course, Rachel Zegler is also in this film. And man, this girl is lucky, man. She's in so many movies. She's even now in the Hunger Games prequel. Wow, this girl is busy. And I think she's going to crush it in this film. But, you know, it actually looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a movie that's going to be a summer movie that's not releasing into the summer. It's coming out at the end of the year, so it's in competition with Avatar, basically. So, hopefully, this movie exceeds my expectations. Now we're up to the top 5, guys. These are the 5 movies that I'm mostly excited for the rest of 2022. So, my number 5 goes to Strange World. This is the new Walt Disney Animation Studios movie. And, of course, every single Disney film that's coming out, it's always going to be in my anticipated list because I love Disney. And it's good that Disney is coming back doing original stuff again. I really enjoyed Raya and the Last Dragon. I really enjoyed Encanto. So, of course, a new Disney original movie that looks very fun. Like, it looks like an adventure film discovering this world that looks completely beautiful by its animation. I love the pink colors. I love the look of the movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be in this movie. I don't know if this movie is going to be a musical. I highly doubt that. But, you know, Raya and the Last Dragon wasn't a musical and that movie was badass, so hopefully this movie is a lot of fun. And the director movie is also involved with Raya and the Last Dragon, so let's see what this movie provides. We have this really cool teaser trailer that felt like a 50s trailer, but I'd love to see a normal trailer, seeing what the story is mainly about. Coming into my number 4 goes to The Fabelmans. Now, this is Steven Spielberg's new movie, and the plot of this movie is pretty interesting, that it's going to depict Steven Spielberg's life, basically how he became a filmmaker. I don't know if this movie is going to be about him or it's going to be fantasized characters that are presenting Steven Spielberg. We don't know. Haven't seen a trailer yet. That's all I heard what this movie's about, and already I'm interested because Steven Spielberg is making a movie about himself, about his life. That's pretty rare. Like, directors talking about their lives in this type of movie, I'm interested in. I'm interested in plots like that, and obviously Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors. West Side Story proves that Steven Spielberg may be old, but he still can direct good movies. So hopefully The Fabelmans does a great job, and especially just the plot alone, I'm very interested in, and it's in my top 5. Coming into my number 3 goes to Black Adam. I was excited for this movie for the very beginning, especially when they put Dwayne Johnson into the role. I'm already excited, and just from that trailer alone, man, this movie looks like a lot of fun, and I feel like Dwayne Johnson is completely going to crush this movie. Like, this is going to be the movie that's going to basically be iconic for Dwayne Johnson, because Dwayne Johnson is finally in a comic book film. He's finally in a comic book film. How is that not exciting? Because he's in so much action films, and I'm thinking, how is he not in a comic book movie yet? Now he's Black Adam, and it looks awesome. Pierce Brosnan is also going to kill it as Dr. Fate. Like, I'm excited to see these new heroes in this film. But this movie looks like it's going to be a badass fun time, and it looks like it's going to be a fun DC film. Please, Black Adam, don't disappoint me. Hopefully we get another trailer to show how much of a badass Black Adam is, because he's a badass character in the comic, and he looks badass just from that trailer alone. Now, 2 and 1. These two movies are very hard to put into a 1, because of course, that's the hardest part, because these two movies can both be my number 1. I'm excited as hell for both of these movies. So for now, coming into my number 2 goes to Avatar, Way of the Water. Now, finally, we're getting a sequel to Avatar this year. Finally, because I love the first Avatar. I don't find it overrated at all. I know a lot of people find the first Avatar very overrated. I never find that overrated. I really loved Avatar. It's a movie that blew me away. Blew me away? Yeah, that's a pretty cheap joke. I remember seeing the trailer of this movie in IMAX when I was watching Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And holy shit. Just from that first shot alone, I'm like, this looks better than the first one. Just the visual effects alone, where you see the water effects, holy shit, no wonder this movie took so long to get released, because, man, these visual effects are definitely worth it. But the story of this film, I'm very curious about, because obviously, this is not going to be like the first Avatar movie. It took place decades after the first movie. So what is this movie going to be about? Still, this movie looks epic, and James Cameron is coming back, doing more of these sequels. So hopefully this movie does a great job of developing more sequels. Even though I would love to see him do more original stuff, I'm excited to see Pandora once again. And man, he looks like he's giving us what we wanted to see for an Avatar sequel. And hopefully this movie proves to us that we can have more sequels and this movie can be fantastic. Now for my number 1. This movie, man, just when I saw the trailer alone for this movie, I'm like, this is my number 1. This is my number 1 for sure. My number 1 goes to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Man, when the trailer of this movie came out after San Diego Comic-Con, my mind was dropped and my eyes were watering. This is one of the best trailers that I've seen for a Marvel movie. This trailer was so well done, honoring Chadwick Boseman, but also still making it look badass. It shows that, you know, we may have lost our king, and we may have lost our actor who betrayed the king, but we can still make this movie happen and still make this movie as badass as we wanted it to be. This movie looks badass, and Ryan Coogler is returning to direct the movie, and of course the original cast is coming back, except of course for Chadwick Boseman, who played T'Challa because he passed away, sadly, in 2020, and of course that's one of the saddest news in celebrity history since Robin Williams, and of course I'm really heartbroken about that, especially when I saw the trailer. I'm like, man, this movie's going to bring a bunch of tears, like that is for sure, especially when we see a painting of Chadwick Boseman. Man, Kevin Feige even says that this movie is going to honor Chadwick Boseman, so hopefully this movie does that really, really well. But also this movie got me excited to see who's going to be the next Black Panther. Obviously Shuri is my biggest prediction, but I would love to see a Baku as well. That's one of my other predictions, but it didn't show who's going to be, so I'm excited to see who is going to be. But of course, like, the movie looks badass. Namor is also going to be the villain of this movie. That's going to be very, very interesting. But the movie looks incredible, just from the visual effects alone, and also the style of the film. But the trailer, how it's edited, is fantastic. So hopefully, this movie is like what the trailer presented. You know, it's going to be emotional, it's going to be depressing because of Chadwick Boseman, but it's also going to be badass. And honestly, I wasn't sure how I'm going to think of this movie until the trailer came out. I'm like, this is my most anticipated comic book film of the year, with Black Adam, with Shazam. Like, out of all those movies, I would say Black Panther is my most anticipated out of all of them, and it's my most anticipated film through the rest of 2022. So guys, that is my top 10 most anticipated movies for the rest of 2022. What are your picks? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if I missed some movies that you want me to talk about and get my opinions out of with my most anticipated. If there are some movies that are missing, let me know in the comments below and I will reply with my thoughts on it. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below: Facebook, Stardust, Instagram, and Twitter. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie-related content. And have a nice day.